Assessment surveys is a key tool used for telehealth, remote patient monitoring, education, and clinical trials. In the Orbita platform, you can create and manage surveys. The way a patient would interact with these surveys is through either a voice assistant, like Amazon Echo or Google Home. They also can work from a chatbot, which means they can be deployed in a mobile device or website. Let's modify the daily pain level assessment survey for arthritis. In the left-hand navigation, we can drag in any of these survey controls like ratings, yes and no, radio groups, open-ended questions, and multiple-choice questions. Let's edit the first question, which is of type radio group, but because it has only two choices, yes and no, it is treated as a Boolean, and has all the error handling to know only yes and no are valid answers. The question is formatted by a WYSIWYG editor, that is, you can insert audio, add delays, change pitch, change rate and change volume. In the editor, you can insert dynamic data, like the answer of a previous question. In this example, we are saying the user's first name. Let's also add a 250 millisecond delay. The indented fields are dependent on how the first question is answered. Orbita supports conditional logic. You can write complex logic to decide if this question is going to be asked or the ability to go to a different part of the survey. For this field, it will generate the output, "I am sorry to hear that, if the feel worse, the previous question was answered, yes." External hook can be used to test an external condition. For example, you could ask an open-ended question, like "How do you feel?" The question is passed to an external sentiment analysis. And if they said, "I don't feel good," we would get a negative sentiment, which can be used to decide what to say next. After the survey is completed, the data is processed for alerts. These alerts can trigger flows, which could flag an important issue to a third-party system. Let's look at reporting. Orbita collects the survey data into its HIPAA-compliant platform and reports on the results. The data can also be sent to third-party systems. The survey data can be exported to a CSV file. If you have surveys managed in another system, it is possible to programmatically create those surveys in Orbita by using the Orbita JSON REST APIs. Orbita has built-in validation checking for many of the fields, such as ratings, yes-no questions, radio groups, and drop-downs. If you use a text field, you can validate using a number range or a regex expression. In the Experience Designer, there is a Survey Manager node. The job of the manager is to control which question is being asked, and if the answer is valid. You can control how many wrong answers are allowed before skipping that question or ending the survey. You can control if a user needs to validate their answer. You can control if the survey data is stored in Orbita. When an answer is not valid, Orbita logs it, so that you can view a report on what questions people are having trouble with, and how were they trying to answer the question. The first output is for asking the question. The response flows through the Say node, which creates the voice response, and the Card node, which creates the visual response. The second output initiates a response when the survey completes. In this example, it is sending the survey results as an email. You could, for example, add a HTTP node and send the data to a third-party system. The third output initiates a response when the survey stops due to too many invalid answers. The fourth output initiates a response when the survey completes and there is an alert state. The last output initiates when an external hook is called on. The inputs to the survey are intents, such as repeat, previous, and help. There are also answer intents, such as yes and no, number, date, time, and duration, and any custom slots intent. In this example, a body part intent. Another example could be a U.S. city. Surveys sometimes can be long, and a user may be interrupted and not complete the survey. Orbita can store the partial survey, and when the user comes back, the survey can continue where the user left off. That concludes the overview of assessment surveys. Thank you.